welcome to Blue Water's fourth episode of Inside Energy. Today I'm joined by Jurka, one of the founding partners of Blue Water, and Juan, who is one of the associates in the investment team. Today we're going to talk about energy security and how that's come to the forefront of many discussions over the last period of time. Energy security, it seems to be one of these terms that's suddenly come into everybody's language and everybody's talking about it. Energy security, Jurka, is that a mix of all energy types? Is that a balancing of that?
I think that it is a question of having a wide variety of sources of energy. The difference between the different countries are really remarkable. And if you look at Scandinavia, we are essentially independent of any hydrocarbon resources other than for transportation.
So this energy security is a focus of these different countries and regions kind of looking inward and saying, where's my energy coming from?
Decades of underinvestment in the overall energy sector, not only a specific type of conventional or renewable energy, but on the global energy sector and infrastructure, which has caused the end consumer to have to pay up much more for energy, and hence these price caps that we're seeing in the UK.
How does energy pricing, what difference is going to happen with the consumer market and with the industrial market, Jurka?
Well, I think consumer will face a higher proportion of their income going to energy in the next future. The fact that oil and gas, which is part of the energy supply system, and the part that really has seen a huge increase in prices, but the fact is that that is also creating an umbrella for the growth of renewables. Because in a way, the absolute worst thing that could happen is low oil prices and ample supply, because then you would have very hard competition for the renewables.
Jurka, can I bring you back to a bit of how different countries are going to deal with this energy security issue? Let's take Africa, booming population, maybe not as well developed as some other countries. How is that going to pan out?
In a way, in Africa, we have the opportunity to build a sustainable energy system. Renewable opportunities in terms of sun, wind, and so on. But let's hope this time we build it with a backbone of steady energy supplies at the same time as relying on a energy supply that goes up and down all the time when the sun goes down and when the wind stops blowing.
I believe gas is now being considered as a green fuel.
Gas was classified as a transition fuel in the US last year. As we've transitioned in Europe towards the security of supply rhetoric, we have seen gas be classified as a transition fuel in Europe as well.
Just a question, how much greener is gas than oil?
I mean, it's about 25% less CO2 emissions.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a fair reduction.
Yeah, it's a fair reduction.
What other ways can we affect this? Energy efficiency, I hear that, what does that actually mean?
The energy efficiency improvements are the lowest hanging fruit there is in terms of achieving a lower emission. Many studies has proven that this is where you have the lowest cost per unit of reduction of CO2 emission. When we look at studies that's been made, how do we get to the 2050 goals? The largest contributor is energy efficiency.
Recent energy security, nuclear seem to come back to the forefront. You're talking about timing. How quickly can we turn on more nuclear?
Large-scale plants, at least 10 years, 10 to 20 is what we're seeing. There's a lot of technological advancements around nuclear and small modular reactor technology, which are quite exciting. Those lead times are much lower and they can be produced in an industrial process, a more standardized process, and roll them out much quicker. But I think that we won't be seeing those at an industrial scale for 6-7 years at least.
What is the optimum solution between now and 2050 to tackle decarbonisation, but also to make sure that we've all got the energy we all want to use on a daily basis?
When we're starting today, we're probably starting with broadly 80% hydrocarbon resources, oil, gas, and coal, 20% renewables. I think that the important question is, what are we investing in now? And that will be a totally different mix. So we see more than a third of it coming from energy efficiency. A little bit less than a third will be renewable sources. And then the remaining will be continued investments into oil, gas, nuclear. And especially gas and nuclear will provide the stability that allows us to grow renewables.
So lots of activity. tying into, Jurka pointed out clearly where the opportunities are. We have to be aggressive on efficiency, bridge the gap to renewables, and that's just what you're seeing?
I think that each country will be able to bridge this gap in its own way, because as Jurka alluded to, each country has different resources, right? But we all need to do it in a way which we make sure that we don't cause too many fluctuations in the energy pricing, which was evidenced here in the UK when the wind was not blowing during the winter and prices went 5 times what they were the previous day.
So Jurka, Blue Water, is your team positioned well?
Yes, I think we are. The reason why I say that is I think that we have the expertise, and that is why I look into the future with some confidence, and why I think that we will continue to be able to make good investments, good profitable investments, and things, as I said, which are very, very necessary for the overall economy.
Gents, listen, thank you very much for your time today. It's actually been really interesting, good insights into energy, and I'll let you get back to your day jobs now. Thank you.
Thank you.